Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk one of the topic, right? So the topic is all about how we can strengthen the Microsoft 365 security posture with the latest version of ScubaGear, right? So what is ScubaGear? And it's basically a tool which is developed and implemented by considering the CISA framework, right? So what is CISA? CISA is going to be the security configuration baseline policy configurations, right? Which is developed by CISA framework and CISA organization, which is going to take the control and which has a complete framework, which is going to be build the baseline policies, right? So they have the uh, application or they have the kind of tool which is going to help us to go through the governance practices, right? And we don't have to see or we don't have to put anything misconfigured because that's something which is going to keep us our security posture improved, right? And that is why this tool is going to help us. Now I'm going to show you how we can install it. And then by installing that tool, we would be able to do the uh, export of all the different reports so that we can see what is really configured, what is missing, and what we need to improve on, right? So that we would be able to see whether if we have anything misconfigured across the tenant and how that is going to impact if there is something which is misconfigured that is not really expected, right? Because we wanted to make sure tenant is safe and secure. Tenant has everything configured as needed, and that is going to improve the security as well, right? So without wasting much time, I would simply jump on and work on or show you how we can install it and export the different reports across Defender for Office 365, Enter ID, Exchange Online, SharePoint and OneDrive for Business, Power BI platform, right, along with Power Platform and Microsoft Teams as well. So these are the different platforms where we would be able to export the reports, and then we can simply look into the different configurations which might not be configured appropriately, and we have to just go back and see and configure the right setup solutions on it, right? So now it might be the question, what is the Scuba, right? So Scuba is one of the tool, as I said, it's developed by CISA as an organization for security information, right? And which has a powerful free assessment tools and capabilities, right? It has all those capabilities, which includes the exporting different reports, as I said, and identify the different services if there are any misconfigurations added, right? And for that, we can simply go ahead and do that, right? So let's go ahead and share my screen so that I will show you how we can install it and then perform the actions, right? Right. All right. So here are some of the steps I have with me. And this is the step where we can simply install this on the PowerShell. And then we need to initialize the Scuba, right? And then we have some of the options to download that Scuba as well. So I have that already opened up, right? So we can simply skip for now. We can skip these steps. And probably I'll just keep it down. Okay. All right. So I have PowerShell opened up over here. I'll simply copy this commandlet and paste it here, and let's run it. All right. So it will install it, and it should be installed. So once it is installed, we have some of the scripts as well to run it, right? Now it will check if it has all the prerequisites installed. There are some of the prerequisites installed or that's required. So once that is installed, then it's going to install that. Now it is validating all those prerequisites. Perfect. You can see that it is installing one by one. And once it is installed, we should be good to go ahead and run the scripts. right? So let's give it a minute, not minute, probably it is going to take few seconds to just to capture all the details it needs, and then it should be good to go. All right, it is still not yet coming up. So let's give it a minute or two. Okay, it's taking a bit of time. Meantime, I'll jump on to the scripts, right? So here's the script which we need to, this is for installation, this is for initial or initiating the Scuba, right? And there are other scripts as well, which we need to run. The first script is for running all the different capabilities that it has, right? And the script, which is going to be, the second one is for one workload, specific workload wherever we wanted to target. Let's say AD is for enter ID. And then the last commandlet here is this. This is for all the different workloads. You can see we can name their workloads, AD, AXO teams, and then it's going to out path. That means it's going to export that report in this path. And then it's going to simply generate that report. All right, perfect. It is completed. We can simply go ahead and start the initiation of this Scuba. Okay, let's see how that works. Now it should start. Now it is doing, it is checking if it has all the required modules installed. Okay, it says PS gallery is trusted. It says already has the latest installed 2.2.5, right? Now it is checking all other requirements. So it is checking Teams. It is installing that one as well, because whatever is needed, it needs to be installed, and then it's going to keep validating. And once everything is validated and verified, then it's going to make that available for us. You can see that it is trying to find all those modules, and then is going to make it ready for us. So this is very important step, because if we don't have all the modules, that means it's going to install it. But if it is not, then we have to install those modules, and then it should be ready for the next steps. Right, so let's see. Perfect, you can see it is installing. Meantime, give me a minute to connect the charger. All right, now you can see that OPA executable, it is trying to download, right? This is a file transfer that uses background intelligence transfer service bits, basically. And it says that install the specified OPA version this to this path. It has captured this path over here, right? So now give it a time. Okay, it shows downloaded OPA version this with SHA 256 verified successfully as well. And it says ScubaGear setup time elapsed in 120 seconds. So it took around 1 minute and 27 seconds, and that is why it shows that seconds over there. Now we are ready over here to go ahead and deep dive into those steps or the scripts that I showed you, right? So over here, you can see these are the different commandlets. So instead of this, what I would do is I would go to this path and see if it has generated something, no, colon slash. Okay, so this is the complete path instead of that, right? So we can keep this path there. That's not mandatory, but I'm going to simply be keep it simple, right? And just have to be ready, right? So that way we are good here. Now let's go ahead and copy this whole commandlet and come back here and paste it here and run it. Okay, what it says is cannot validate argument parameter OPA path, the test path, path type, container, this one validation script did not return the result of true. Determine why the validation script failed and then try again the commandlets. Okay. Okay, so seems it is going to simply I'll just it here and I'll just copy this area, paste it here. And simply I will just try out this one. Let's try this command, what it shows, and it should show something, right? Even if it is not working without any errors or anything, then we should see anything like maybe any error or something like that. Okay. So now it's trying to authenticate, right? So I'm going to give it a credentials of what it shows. Something is wrong. Okay. MS SOFT. Perfect. Okay, what is MSAVND is that on Microsoft.com. Oh, that is strange. Why it is not? Maybe I put some wrong credentials here. Let me try it again. Oh, shit. Let me try another credentials. I wish seems the credentials is not correct. So let me give it the correct one and it should be good to go. Now it is accepting this. Go ahead and do that. Let it go through these workloads. The credentials was incorrect, right? And that is why it just did not accept it. So let it go through it and probably it should. Now you can see authenticating to EXO, it authenticated to other workloads. So total 3 workloads were authenticated. And now we can see it is authenticating Teams. And once that is completed, you can also see it has given us a warning and it says the tenant connect to this path, right? Where the ScubaGear is installed under the documents folder, PowerShell module. And it's going to ask for the same again. So let's give it, okay, it's authenticated now. Then the final checks, right? And once it is connecting, now it is connecting to the settings to extract all those reports, right? Now it says running a provider for each baseline. What it is going to export or do is it's going to export all the baseline configuration policies, configuration settings, and then we would be able to go ahead and see. So you can see that it is running the AD provider 104 product settings extracted. All right, so let it go through it. And what it is going to do is it's going to take a bit of time because it is trying to export settings for one by one workloads. And that means it has to run it for each of those, right? And also you can see that it has check the spelling of the name, or if the path was included, verify that the path is correct and try again, right? So this has come because of this commandlet with a warning over here, which says established or error establishing the connection with Teams or the SharePoint with this commandlet is not recognized, even that is already installed, right? And that is why it did throw an error. All right, so let's give it time. Oh, I think it is still on the same step. But it's still running. Let's see. So once this is done, it should give us the complete report. Okay, so it has exported for Android. Now it is trying to do the same for Defender portal. So let us go ahead and give it the credentials. Let me authenticate. And once it is authenticated, it should simply go ahead and run it for Defender portal or for Defender workload altogether, right? So that way it is going to export everything which is already configured, and then we can see what is happening, what is needed, what is there, right? So it is going to show us different areas. Different areas includes what's already configured, what is the baseline, what is missing, which is not configured at all, right? And whatever we have configured, whether that is correctly configured or it's a misconfiguration, right? So we need to look into it, and we would be able to understand what area is needed to focus on so that we can improve on security posture. All right, you can see it is running for Exchange now, and there's one more workload which is going to export for, and it should give us once it is ready. And there are two warnings, which is SharePoint will be omitted. Okay, 404 is starting for Teams one. Okay, now verification is happening. Okay, Seems there is fatal error involved in a report creation, endings cannot validate argument, config is null or empty. Okay, please provide argument that is not null. Okay, new report. That is strange. So basically, it should give us the result, and it says warning resulting JSON is truncated as the realization has exceeded the set limit of 2. Okay, so seems there is something which we need to configure or set the parameter, right? And probably let me do one thing. Let me give it this path. All right, so this is the path where we wanted to give it, and simply I will copy this path and redirect to this location. Let's minimize it. Let's go to this path. Okay, now let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now it is going to authenticate. Okay, so now it is starting with AD, Azure AD, and then all the other workloads, right? So, okay, it has quickly authenticated. Let's authenticate with this one. Oh, it failed for SharePoint. Now it's going to run the same for the commandlets or the modules. Now running for AD, virtual, not virtual, and Azure Enter ID or Microsoft Enter ID, basically, right? All right, I think it is taking a bit of time, but it should be good to go because until and unless we don't do it, right? Because that's something it's going to give us the real time know how what is needed, what is missing, or what is something that is not correctly configured, right? And that is what I'm showing you on the screen so that whatever you are doing, you need to do it on the go, right? So that you need to see what is happening. Otherwise, if I'm doing only the scripted format, that means it's not giving you a real-time experience of knowing and learning, right? So that is more important here. So this is how it should go through as it's taking a bit of time. And once it is ready, I think I have one of the sample report to show you. Meantime, I'll just stop screen sharing and get that report, right? And I'll show you the one of the image that I had performed before, right? So let me stop it for a while and I'll get that report quickly. All right, so let me share my screen again as it's taking a longer time and it's going to make this video very long if you have to wait for this one. And yep, let me share that report with you over here, right? Seems it's trying to authenticate one more time. Let me do that first. Okay, it has completed for AD. And I have the report snap, which I'm going to show you here. So this is the report. This is how the report is going to look like, right? You can see that it has a Scuba and baseline documentation, which is, this is basically snap, which is automatic forwarding to external domains, center policy frameworks, then domain key identified mails, which is DKIM, right? So all of that configuration is going to show us. Now this is just a sample, but it is going to be different for each and every organization, wherever organization has configured the same for their tenant and their enterprise organization, right? And this is the report where it's going to show us what's happening, what is needed, what is missing, right? And basis on that, definitely this is going to be something which is going to give us the visibility. And once we have the complete visibility, we would be able to take the control of our requirements, right? So that way we would be able to go ahead and make the configurations and set it up. All right, it is completed. Let's see. Okay, there are some warnings, right? And teams will be omitted from the output because of the failure above. Okay, it says that failure above. All right. AD will be omitted, failure above. Oh, seems it has failed for all those workloads. It says OPA executable was not found. Please see the README for instructions on how to retry downloading the executable and which directory is it should be placed. Okay, so seems there is a requirement, but that have to be checked, and then we should be go ahead or should be ready for this. All right, but yeah, this is something which even I did not try before, right? And which you can see in the on the screen that whatever the steps we took, maybe it didn't find the correct way or steps, and that is why it failed. And you can see that it says that the path is not correct. So there is one action which is needs to go through this document, which is you need to go through some of the instructions, and then we should be good to make it ready, right? So that is what I wanted to show you and talk about, right? And it's definite that until and unless we go ahead and do that and try it, we won't be able to see it. But definitely the purpose of this video was to show you how we can go ahead and export those reports and see. Also, I showed you one of the sample report or sample snap where we can see what is showing up, right, in the Exchange Online context. And it's going to show us all of that stuff, right, where we have to go ahead and work on it, what is missing, what is not. And I would ask you or suggest you to go ahead and try it out and see what is happening across your tenant and work on the improving security posture for the tenant, right? Even if you don't have the right set of access levels, don't have the permissions, definitely the security team who actually has the complete control of the tenant and accessibilities and everything together, they would be able to go ahead and do that, and they have right set of permissions. So probably there would be different ways for each organizations to make the changes by utilizing the change management capabilities. And change management is also one of those area where organizations are following practices, right? So yeah, that's something which needs to flow through. But it is also very important to know that you know this, how it works and what is needed and what is not and how we can do it, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. I wanted to show you and talk about. Hope you like it. Hope you learned something new. And if you have any questions, doubts, anything that you wanted to know, learn, and ask questions, I would be happy to answer those questions and respond to your questions as well. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well, so that you get to see every new video once it is uploaded and available on channel. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.